Welcome back, you fixed blade custom knife lovers, if that's who you are. This old sword with you, and I'm very pleased and proud to have in the house today a custom knife just in from the maker Josh Mason, who goes by the name Bright for War on Instagram. And on that Instagram page, which I'll give you a link to, you can see many of his creations if you look at the photographs. And this one struck me because it was the right size. Some of the other models I'd seen that he'd been working on were a bit smaller, and I prefer a 4-inch or better blade, particularly on a fixed blade. But sometimes there are exceptions. So what have we got here? This is what he calls his clip point. No special name. I think he might have also referred to it as a clip point hunter. I dig the straight handle. A lot of people say, well, yeah, they'd like a curved handle. I mean, really all up to your preference. And since we're talking custom knives here, Josh could probably pretty much make you whatever you'd like. Look at this belt satin. Beautiful job. And he has studied under a number of makers, and Ray Laconico is one that he had mentioned. There is Josh's really beautiful, I think it's like a plum blossom, because he does a lot of Japanese inspired knives with cord wraps and cord guards and the whole works. Really nice, really grippy. This one is G10. I don't think it's micarta. Took a really nice satiny polish. As you can see, we have a fully exposed tang, fairly slim handle. Fits nicely in my hand because there is plenty of handle, and because of the way the choil is ground into the blade there, you can choke up. Now, there is no jimping. It's just a real clean, modern looking fixed blade. The beautiful swedge there at the top. Beautiful belly, and it is made from a steel I hadn't heard of before. It is a high nickel content carbon steel called 8670M, like Mary. 8670M. He prefers to work in a steel called L6, but he was out of it at the time of this making. So this particular steel, the 8670M, is hardened to about a Rockwell of 58. It is used in a lot of different kinds of saw blades, bandsaw blades and circular saw blades. So it's a very, very tough steel, according to Josh. And that's as much as I know about it. You can look that up. I'll put the notes in the description so you can do some web searches at your favorite metallurgy and steel websites. I prefer Knife Steel Compositions. Great app for your iPhone or Android. It's almost a shame to use the knife. It has such a nice finish on it. Did come with a Kydex sheath. Custom made, obviously, like the knife, with a belt loop. I prefer this method of carrying because you can loop it underneath your belt. You can put it under the waistband and secure it with the belt. So he's got enough of that handle covered as to keep it from accidentally coming out, and it's got just enough retention. It's kind of a smooth tensioned withdraw on that Kydex sheath. Let's do some measurements. and then we'll do some compares. Overall length of this knife is exactly 9 inches, with a blade length to the handle of about 4.3, call it 4.35. Got an edge of 3 I'll call it 3 7/8. And what are we set to here? Inches. So let's take a look at the handle thickness. 0.52. That's pretty slim for a fixed blade, but nice. And the blade stock, 3.9 millimeters. Really nice bidirectional belt satin. Longitudinal lines there on the flat. And we've got horizontal there with a different direction horizontal for the main grind. And this is a high flat grind. And it came extremely sharp. No effort at all. And I'm left cleaning up, of course. We didn't get a weight on it. Let's get a weight on it. Here we go. Without the sheath, going to zero that out. Thank you. Without the sheath, we've got, call it 5 ounces. Pretty much 5 ounces. With a little fraction over. And, shouldn't have put the scale away quite so quickly. Let's give you a weight with the sheath and the belt loop. 6.9 we'll call it. So we got about a 1.9 ounce sheath, which is really not much at all, considering it's going to ride inside your waistband or on your belt. Give you another look around. Got some finger smudgies there already. One thing about a high polish or a satin blade is it's going to be a fingerprint magnet. And with this being a carbon steel, you do want to take care of it. I use silicone cloths. You can use a little bit of mineral oil or vegetable oil, your choice, depending upon whether you're doing food prep with this. You might be skinning with this. You might be whittling with this. Or you might be using it for self-protection, because I think it will work fairly well with that. We've got enough of a stop with this gradual finger choil here that I think once you seal that into the grip, you're in there pretty tight. And no, you don't have any jimping, but you got a long enough run of flat there on top on the spine to reinforce nicely with the thumb. And of course, you could always ask Josh to make this with a Japanese wrap. Quite a fine point, but certainly not frail or fragile. Got enough width going this way. Just a beautiful blade. Got a lanyard hole, and these are burgundy, dark red G10 rivets, would you call them? Instead of brass or steel or what have you. So obviously this is all set up to stay in place, no screws, so stays the way it is unless the maker remakes it. So there is the Josh Mation custom clip point. Here is a popular production knife. This is the Street Beat by Spyderco. You can see we've got quite a size difference there. Here is the newly released as of late last year, late 2021, Tamashii, designed by Bob Terzola and made by Civivi. See if we can sandwich Josh's knife in between. There you go. So very similar, almost identical length to the Tamashii, if you're familiar with that, but a taller blade, good deal broader, and a fair amount more money. When you're talking custom knives, this is actually, I would consider it to be a bargain for a custom knife, coming in at $270. So you will find Josh's smaller knives for as low as $130 with the cord wrap, and he does a beautiful cord wrap. You know, he might even entertain doing a cord wrap on your knife, although I don't want to speak for him. I know he has done this for some people. Well, if you're a folding knife aficionado, why not put the Griptilian out there too, just for comparison. So there you have the custom clip point fixed blade by Josh Mason, Bright for War. I'll put all the links in the description. And again, very happy and proud to have his work in my collection. Kudos to Josh, and also a shout out to Bob DeMarco, the Knife Junkie, for kind of turning me on to Josh's work, because he's got at least one of his fixed blades as well. Okay, time to go. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe.